Okay, so I'd like to thank everybody of you for joining the class today. My name is Mohammed Saadouni again, and I'm currently an instructor in the University of Manitoba English Language Center. And طبعا I'd like to thank Mr. Rida for hosting this meeting and hosting this class and hosting this course. And I'd like also to thank Global English Academy, and I'd like to thank Winnipeg Language Academy for sponsoring this class. So quickly, we will go through what we're going to do today. Today, we're only here to know more about each other, and we give a quick introduction about writing. We will be looking also at what impedes writing, what makes writing difficult. إيه اللي بيخلي الرايتنج بالنسبة لنا صعب. الcourse overview, inshallah, we will work in 10 weeks, and we will have 5 units, and I will go through these units with you. Unit 1 هتبقى فيها overview اللي هو بنعمله النهارده. Your expectations from the course. I'd appreciate to know what you want or what do you want to learn here, like why you are here. Also, we'll be looking at understanding writing, what's writing exactly, and what impacts writing. There are 2 things that we look at, which is culture and mindset, اللي هو الثقافة وطريقة التفكير. دي حاجات بتأثر جدا على الرايتنج وبتخلي الموضوع ما بيوصلش بطريقة فيها clarity. فهنتكلم عن ده النهارده ان شاء الله. المره اللي جايه ممكن نتكلم عن writing as a process, from speaking to writing, how to change speaking into writing, and what are the differences between speaking and writing. In unit 2, we'll be looking at phrases, clauses, and sentences. Also, we'll be looking at sentence structure and how to improve it. We will also look at types of sentences. Also, we'll be looking at from sentence to paragraph, how to change our sentences into a paragraph. Also, paragraph structure and different types of paragraphs. And at the end, we will be writing an effective paragraph. In unit 4, we'll be looking at how to change our paragraphs into an essay. We will be looking at the types of essays and the structure of an essay. Also, we'll be looking at how to improve our essays. If you are already writing essays, we will be looking at how to improve it and make it more effective. In unit 5, we will be looking at academic or formal English or formal writing versus informal writing. Writing an email, because writing an email is very important. So if you wanted to send an email to your boss or to your colleagues or co-workers at work, this will be very important for you. We'll be looking at 2 types of emails, which is formal and informal email. We will be looking also at responding to an email and caution in writing. These 5 units will be covered in 10 weeks. We will try as much as we can to cover everything, and we will be doing practice. I'll try to give a chance for 1 marking of an essay and 1 marking of a paragraph for each one of you. The rest will be group work and pair work in the class. All right? Do you guys have any question until now so far?
No, great, bro.
Okay.
Go.
So who should take this course? This course is designed for 3 people, 3 different categories of people: university students, professionals, and ESL teachers. So if you are a university student and you wanted to improve your writing, this course is for you. If you are a professional and you do any kind of job, this is also for you. And if you are an ESL teacher, this will help you teach writing. We'll be looking at the parts or how we can deliver specific parts to students. Now, from here, I'd like to...
Excuse me.
Yeah.
What is the meaning of ESL teacher?
So ESL is English as a second language teacher. So teachers who teach English, to students in a country where English is used as a second language. If you look
Thank you.
Thank you so much. If you look at the Middle East, we should say EFL, which is English as a foreign language, but because ESL is a more general term, we use it when we talk about ESL or EFL or EAL. In some countries, EAL, which is English as an additional language. In this country, usually they speak more than 2 languages. Now, I'd like you in the chat to type, what do you expect from this course? Why are you here exactly? Can we do that?
To improve my writing skill.
All right. So this is one thing. What else?
After this course, I expect I can write a formal letter for my manager.
That's also right. Thank you, Mr. Abdullah.
You're welcome, Mr.
Any other ideas?
Yeah, I have exam after 1 month and a half. I
So
need to pass in it.
that's good. What kind of exam is that?
University exam
That's good. So you will
for the final year in the university.
that's
I
right.
need to improve my writing. I have a problem in sentence structure.
Sentence structure. That's right.
Yes.
There is a question here. Miss Iman.
Yes, at the end of the course, I expect to improve my thinking of writing.
That's really a good one. So thinking affects writing, and we will be looking at that in a minute. Thank you so much, Miss Iman.
Thank you.
Miss Hiba Saad here, or Saeed here, sorry, she says it will include teaching grammar. Yes, we will include some grammar, but not a lot of grammar because this is not a grammar course, it's a writing course. Write in a perfect way. This is Miss Amina. I expect to improve my writing. This is Miss Hiba. And to write it right, this is Miss Amina. And yeah, so I just wrote some expectations from what students mentioned before or earlier. These are what they expected from the course. So they learn how to write new sentence structure, okay? We usually know that we can write simple sentence, compound sentence. Some of us can write complex sentence. Some of us can write compound and compound complex sentence. So some consider compound complex is a new type of sentence structure for them. So they will be learning this. Also, we'll be looking at how to write correct, strong sentences. And we'll be also looking at how to write strong paragraphs. We will be learning how to write an effective essay, and this is mentioned already. Now, we would like to go to a definition for writing. But before the definition, I'd like to share this with you. Write without fear, edit without mercy. This means that writing is not a one-shot thing. So you don't sit down, write, and send. You need to write, yes, express yourself, write everything out from your mind in paper. Then you have to review that. You have to edit that. So writing is a process, and we will be looking at how we can plan for writing, how we can generate ideas, and how we can also review and revise our writing. For the next slide here, we need a definition for writing. Can anybody define what is writing?
Yes, Mr. Muhammad.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think writing is the last productive skill once you can tackle after having, maybe listening well, then is asked to read,
right,
and then come to speaking. Yeah, and I guess the writing is the last productive skill one must tackle.
That's absolutely correct. So writing, as Mr. Reda mentioned, it's a productive skill. So you produce the language. You learn the language through receptive skills usually, which is reading and listening, and then you produce the language in two forms. The first form is to speak the language, and the second form is to write the language, okay? I just wanted to mention something. Please try to be here on time, because when some people comes, we interrupt the class and we admit them. Try to be here like 5 minutes before the class. This would be very helpful, okay? So a definition for writing here is it's a method of sharing your thoughts. يعني طريقة تشارك بيها أفكارك. What most people don't realize is that it's often not actually the writing that is difficult, but it is the thinking behind the writing. يعني عملية الرايتنج نفسها مش عملية صعبة، إنما الموضوع الأصعب هو إن أنت تفكر في الرايتنج، إن أنت تحط الأيديا الايدياز بتاعتك مع بعض وتبدأ تعمل communication للايدياز دي. Writing is essentially a robust, strong tool that enables us to clarify and communicate thoughts. لو احنا بصينا على أي typical day in our lives, we will be if it's a working day for sure. So you will be writing at least 5 to 10 pieces depending on your work. لو احنا بنتكلم على students هتلاقي نفسك بتبعت ايميلز للانستراكتورز بتاعك، بترد على ايميل. لو انت مدرس هتلاقي نفسك بتكتب حاجه في الليسون بلان، بتكتب حاجه على البورد، بتكتب حاجه في الباوربوينت برزنتيشن. فالرايتنج جزء مهم جدا من اليوم بتاعنا. بما ان الرايتنج هو thinking process، عمليه عقليه، الواحد بيبقى عايز يأجل الموضوع لانه هو مش عايز يتعب عقله. فاحنا نبدأ نشتغل ان شاء الله ازاي to train this muscle, the muscle of thinking، عشان يبقى الموضوع الرايتنج بالنسبة لنا اسهل. لما احنا بنتكلم، اتفضل مستر عبد الحميد. مستر عبد الحميد.
Sorry, it was just by mistake. Sorry.
No problem.
It was just by mistake. I was muting myself. I wrongly raised the hand.
That's perfectly fine. We will wait for 1 second here because we have 3-4 more people coming in. Please, when you come in, mute yourself. Okay. Okay, so let's now look at how people think and how this will help. Mr. Adil, could you please mute yourself? Okay, we'll look at how people think, how different cultures think, and how this affects the writing. Now, can you guess which kind of thinking is this? Like this way of thinking. Is it for people from the Middle East, people from North America, people from Brazil? What kind of thinking is that? You can unmute yourself and talk, or you can just type in the text in the chat box if you're not willing to talk. So the question again, please, is this picture here shows 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different ways of thinking. Okay, can you tell me who thinks this way? Who thinks in a straight line, in a linear way?
Excuse me, it's difficult to guess, Mister, but
just throw a guess. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I don't have that background knowledge about different people of different countries, but I can say that European people are always straight, like English people, while I don't know much about it, but you have to give more explanation about the question.
Okay, so as you mentioned, Mr. Reda, thank you so much for the guess. Ms. Fatma here said it's American, and this is correct. This is the way of English-speaking people. This is the way how they think. They think in a straight line. They move usually from. Could you please, guys, mute yourself? Mr. Abdul Hamid, could you please mute yourself?
I'm muted.
Mr. Muhammad, Mr. Muhammad, ممكن حضرتك mute yourself, please? But we will pause for the adhan for a minute, okay? Because I know there is adhan in your area. And please, when you are in the room, mute yourself. This is very important. Thanks, Ms. Fatma. That's correct. This is how American people think. And also, Mr. Yusuf, thank you. This is from general to specific, but we're looking at how people think, how countries or culture think. Miss Russia here, she says from one Western people. That's correct. Also, yeah, I prefer you guys mute yourself because I feel this is offensive if I mute you. Just make sure that your phone or your mic is muted. Don't unmute yourself unless you wanted to talk. Okay, so let's go back to what we're saying. So the first style is the style of Western people, right? And let's take a quick look at that here. So this is how English people think. They think in a linear way. And this is the Semitic way. Semitic way, which is people in the Middle East, people who speak Arabic, people who speak Hebrew, Farsi, this is the way they speak. فهتلاقي احنا عندنا مثلا، خلينا ندي اكزامبل ما بين الاثنين دول لان دول اهم حاجه عندنا. لو حد محتاج يستلف منك فلوس in an English way, he will tell you straight away, could you please lend me some money? على طول. احنا in Arabic we will be going back and forth until we reach the point. يعني هنقول مثلا تصدق انا عملت حادثه، وبعدين ما توصلش هنا الكونكلوجن، تبدا تاني تقول وكمان الراتب بتاعي متاخر. ما توصلش للكونكلوجن، تبدا ترجع تاني وتقول وانا محتاج ان انا اجيب شويه ادويه ومحتاج اشتري شويه اكل. تبدا ترجع تاني للاول تقول فممكن تسلفني فلوس. فاحنا بناخد الزيجزاج واي of thinking، وده بيأثر طبعا على الطريقه اللي احنا بنتكلم بيها. بندي مقدمات introduction كتيره لحد لما نوصل للكونكلوجن. كويس. الاورينتال واي اللي هي the countries of Southeast Asia, China, Japan، هما ما بيفيش conclusion بيوصلوا له، هو go in round and round and round and you guess what do you want. Roman culture اللي هم الناس اللي بتتكلم Spanish, Italian and French, they are يعني getting closer to English. هو مش the same straight line بس طبعا مش زيجزاج زي احنا ما بنعمل. الروشن people بيتكلموا برضه بطريقه مختلفه. في موقف funny جدا، احد الدكاتره زمايلنا هنا في الجامعه هي كنديه ومتجوزه حد من الفلبين، فحكت موقف بتقول انا سالته في يوم انت اكلت اللانش بتاعك؟ اللانش اللي هو الغداء يعني، اكلت اللانش بتاعك؟ فبتقول بدا يحكي قصه لان هو طبعا من الاورينتال واي اوف ثينكينج، فبدا يحكي قصه وما جاوبش خالص على السؤال. قال لي انا كان عندي شغل كتير وبعدين قابلت اصحابي وبعدين مش عارف عملت ايه وشفت مين، ففي الاخر خالص الكونكلوجن فين؟ ما ردش على السؤال اذا كان كل ولا ما كلش. هو he expected ان هي فهمت ان هو ما كلش لان هو كان مشغول. فالموضوع ده كان بالنسبه لها شويه صعب لان هي عايزه straight line from point A to point B. الموضوع ده طبعا بيأثر على الرايتنج. لو انا بفكر بطريقه سيماتيك يعني زي الارب thinking people، فهيبقى الموضوع ده بيأثر على الرايتنج بتاعي، وهتلاقي نفسك بتكتب اكتر من حاجه هي مش مهمه في الرايتنج. احنا محتاجين منك في piece of information here, pass it here from point A to point B. ما تروحش لpoint C لان انت مش محتاج تروح لpoint C. تمام؟ Does anybody have any questions so far? If you have any question, please type it in the chat. So here, English discourse construction methods are linear. So when they write, if you read a newspaper, you will find a piece of information in each single line. مفيش introduction. في introduction في الاسي بس كل sentence فيها مهمة. مفيش sentence ملهاش أهمية. English rhetoric, which is English writing and speech, is logically linear based on the linear thought pattern. يعني الطريقة اللي هم بيفكروا بيها while the Oriental thought pattern is presented as spiral اللي هم طبعا الناس اللي هم الصينيين واليابانيين. في سؤال هنا معانا. How can we think in English؟ طيب هنأجل السؤال يا مس نيفين to how you can think in English للمرة اللي جاية، وهيكون في steps ونعمل exercise مع بعض جوه الكلاس في ازاي how can we think in English. تمام؟ احنا عايزين دلوقتي في الفترة اللي احنا فيها حالا try to if you have a piece of information to tell, if you have a piece of information to pass, take it from point A to point B. Don't say, for example, النهارده انا اكلت اكله تقيله وبعدين نمت شويه وبعدين صحيت حسيت ان انا تعبان وبعد tell me what you want. Could you please take me to the doctor? Could you please tell me or call the ambulance for me, call 911 for me. هو ده اللي احنا عايزينه. وبالنسبه لسؤال حضرتك اللي هو how to think in English, we will be looking at that. Absolutely. Okay? You're most welcome. Now, let's go to share. Let's share our responses to the written task. I know that you guys have written something for the theme of travel. Okay? If you are okay with that, you can share what you have written. You can read it out loud or you can share it in the chat here. I'll give you 2 minutes. Maybe if you want to pass it over here, you can share something small about what you have already wrote or written. في معانا برضه ناس تانية جايين دلوقتي فهنعمل admitting ليهم. Would you guys like to share your ideas?
Yes, Mr. Muhammad. Yes.
Go ahead, Mr. Reda.
I think the point you mentioned now makes me get completely, sometimes when writing in an academic way, you didn't match the target needed because I may be affected the way I think previously. That's a new tip for me. So go on. Yes, I completely agree with you. I mean, when writing in academic way, sometimes I don't know how to get the criteria needed because sometimes I may be affected the way I think previously. Hoping you catch me.
That's right. I agree with you. So is anyone here ready to share? Thank you, Mr. Reda.
Yes, bro.
Is there anyone here ready to share? Mr. Khalid, I have a question here. He says, we have to talk clearly without explanation, right? Could you please unmute yourself and talk, or you rephrase that? Because I try to catch what you want to say.
Okay. What I mean, it's to go the point you need to discuss it, to deliver it to the other side without explanation. That's I mean.
So you mean in speaking or in writing?
On writing.
Okay, so we want to explain, okay, but we don't want to write redundant stuff. We don't want to add more that is not needed. Could you please, guys, mute yourself, please, all of you? Thanks, Mr. Khalid. So I'll be answering the question now. We want to explain, but we don't want to give more details that is not needed. I'll give you an example of something in English called redundancy. Redundancy is when you add something that is not needed. So for example, I'll give you this gift for free, or I'll give you a trophy for free. A gift, I'm giving you a gift, it's for free, right? So free here is not important. We don't want to add it to the sentence, because we already know if you give me a gift, you're not charging me for that. You're not asking me to pay you for a gift you're giving me, right? So this is what I wanted to just mention here. But for explanation, for sure, you want to explain, you want to give the audience, the person who reads, the whole idea, but you don't want to give extra unnecessary information on top. Okay, thank you, Mr. Khalid. Ms. Rasha?
I talk about the paragraph, the task.
Yeah. So you have a question about the paragraph?
No, I talk about what I am writing.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Absolutely.
On my holiday, I have been with my friends in a camp. We have traveled on an airplane. The airfare was expensive. I have had my backpack and baggage, bathing suit, and my binocular. We bid also customs because we have had a lot of baggage for camping. Mm-hmm. After arriving airport, we took a taxi to our motel. I think we had a rest of 6 hours to sleep and eat. Okay.
That's right. Go ahead. Yeah, that's good.
Then we had a bus to take us to the campsite. We set up a big tent, changed our clothes with the bath suits or bathing suits, I think.
Yeah, bathing
we
suits.
We were on a sea coast to swim in the sea. Then we ate some food, and the next day we went in a great a lot of views. Mm-hmm. So I took some photos by my camera. Our destination was east. We were on a small boat selling by professional sellers, so it cost a lot of currency. Okay.
Okay, carry on. Yeah.
Okay. There was a great waterfall. The camp took 3 days. After that, we went back to our motel. We took a leisure, yes?
Leisure, yes.
Okay, leisure.
Mm-hmm.
Then we went to amusement park according to the set tourist schedule. And we wandered a little in the streets of this beautiful city. See, we got an enough amount of recreation when we was outdoors and explored different places. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ms. Rasha, for sharing this. And I really like what you have written. I have one question for you. Okay?
Yes.
So where was the camp?
I didn't mention that.
So I wanted to know the camp because you said you're paying custom fees, right? So you can pay custom fees in Egypt if you're traveling from Cairo to Luxor or from Cairo to Sharm el-Sheikh, right? You don't pay customs for that?
In general.
Okay, that's
for some place. I didn't mention it.
Okay, that's really great.
I just used the words. That is it. That is my goal.
That's really great. And this is a story, right?
Yes.
Perfect. Just one thing, we will be looking at that when we come to stories. When we look at a story, we have to have characters. You mentioned I and my friends, and you have to have a setting. A setting is a time and a place. So the time you mentioned, the place, we should define what's the place, right? Then we will have something called the plot. We will go through this together, inshallah, in the course. This will help, but your writing is really good. I really like it. Thank you so much, Rasha.
Okay, thank you. You are welcome.
Thank you. And you're most welcome, Khalid. And here, I really want to attend, but I have an emergency now. So kindly, if you share, we will be sharing the recording. Mr. Rida, could you please take a, what do you call it? A photo of people who are attended so we can send them a link of the recording, or we can share it on the group?
Again, Mister, again, please.
Can you please take a screenshot of the people attended today? So the course will be restricted on them, because we need to focus on who attended today and give them a chance to improve.
Okay, I'm trying. Yes.
All
Okay.
right. Thank you so much. Miss Huda, go ahead. هو في ماتش شغال دلوقتي؟ نغير الميعاد عشان يبقى الميعاد مناسب للناس كلها. انا ما اعرفش ان في ماتش شغال للاسف. Miss Huda, do you have something to share?
Assalamu alaikum.
عليكم
Hello.
السلام ورحمة الله. أهلا وسهلا.
I'd like to share my paragraph, please.
Go ahead.
Okay. 4 years ago, I've been to Saudi Arabia with my husband. We haven't got many baggage because we carry on our backpacks all the time. We went by plane. The airfares were paid by Visa. We took the bus to get Cairo International Airport. On the plane, there was a chart showing the destination of the flight, which is Al Madina. The mountains appeared by the coast of the Red Sea. We arrived on schedule. When we reached Al Madina, we took a cab to go to the hotel. I used my phone camera to get many photos. We spent our leisure time wandering in the calm city of Al Madina. People there were kind and helpful. They served people with milk and dates. They saw their customs. We spent 5 days and we had to depart. On our way to the airport, we saw an expedition exploring for oil. We saw also many people embarking boats as a kind of recreation, using their binoculars to enjoy the beauty of the extended Red Sea. Then we changed the Saudi currency to the Egyptian one before we leaving. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. I really like your story. I really like the trip you took us to, and it made me, nostalgic about Medina and Saudi Arabia. May Allah make it easy for us to go back again. Thank you so much, Huda. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. So is there anybody else who wanted to share? Okay. So let's get down to work, and we look at writing is like a muscle. It's a muscle. You have to train it every day. Every day. That's why there is a small assignment that I want you to do. You have two things to do. Either you write a plan for tomorrow. Sit down at the evening, write what you want to do tomorrow. So write in a paragraph form or in a bullet point form, tomorrow I will do this and this, inshallah, or I need to do this and this. Put it in a form of a bullet point or in a paragraph. Every day, try to write. Every day, try to change the words you used yesterday. Don't write, I want to do this. Change it to, I would like to do that, or I plan to do that, or it's my schedule tomorrow that I do that. Okay? So number one, you can write a plan for the next day. Number two, you can write what happened in that day. Something that I really like about people here is they have a daily journal. It's a small book, okay? And in the book, it's a notebook, small notebook. In the small notebook, they write things that happened to them in the day, things that they appreciated, things that they like. I really like that I have my family with me. I really like that I have my friends with me. And they write things that they dislike. I disliked when this happened, or I wanted to change this next time. So they reflect on their day in their journal. Try to have a journal every night. Write like 5 or 10 sentences of what happened to you this day. If you train yourself to do that, writing will be a piece of cake. You will not ever I'm sorry, because some people are here. So you will never feel that it's hard. It's people who go to the gym every day, they won't feel that they are lifting a lot of weight. Okay, so let's go to how we will be corrected. So in my correction, I'll be using the dynamic written corrective feedback, which is providing specific, targeted, and individualized grammar feedback. So in a sentence, let me give you an example here. So if you have this sentence, he sleep late every day. In this sentence, I'll tell you that this sentence has a subject-verb agreement problem, and then you need to fix it, okay? So if you give a feedback, or if you give feedback to someone else, you will be looking at that. So you will say, there is a subject-verb agreement here, or this sentence is incomplete, it doesn't have any meaning, because if you read, we meet when meeting with friends, what does this mean? There is something missing. Okay, so we will be looking at these types of sentences, clauses, and structure, and we will be able to give feedback on that. But this is the way we will be using. Okay. Now, what should I consider when I write? When I sit down and I have a piece of paper and a pen, and I wanted to write something, what should I consider? Number one, you need to consider the audience. Who is going to read your piece of writing? So here, I'm sorry, I'm admitting some more people here. Okay, so you will be looking at who is the person reading this, this piece. So guys, if you join us now, please mute yourself. So if you're writing to your student, so the main aim, or you know that this student knows less than the language, okay, that less of the language than you, then you will be educating or instructing them. If you're writing to your professor or to someone who knows more about the language than you, you will be writing to show that you understand this specific point. If you're writing to your boss, you will be respectful, right? If you're writing to a co-worker, you will be friendly. So the audience, when you have the audience in mind, when you consider the audience before writing, you will know that, yes, this person, we have a formal relationship, then I have to use formal language. No, it's my friend, then I can, change it or speak or write in a friendly way. Number two, here is the purpose. Why are you writing? There should be a purpose. When you write a piece of article or a piece of text, you need to communicate something. We don't sit down and write for no reason, right? So audience and purpose are interconnected. If I know who's my audience, I will know the purpose of writing to them, right? So if the audience knows, as we mentioned here, less than you, you will be trying to educate them. But there are 5 main purposes for writing. We write to persuade. So you wanted to tell your boss you wanted a salary, like bonus or a promotion. So this is a way of persuading. The government wrote a text on the newspaper to tell people about a new program of education. So here they are informing people. A writer is writing a story for fun. So this is entertainment. So this writer is entertaining us, right? You are writing to explain. If you are a math teacher or a science teacher, you're writing to explain something in math or science. Or if you are a cook, you're writing the recipe and the steps of cooking. So you are explaining here. You can also write to describe, like in a story, you write to describe what happened, or you can write an essay to describe a scene that you will never forget, or a place you've been to, or you describe, you use descriptive language. Number 3, when you write here, you need to consider organization. And organization means which piece will come before the other. Am I putting my text in a chronological order, which is looking at the dates, or I'm putting them in an importance order? So I put the most important in the first and the least important at the end. This depends actually on what you are writing. And this is referred to as cohesion, how your sentences and your paragraphs are connected And here you can look at connectors using conjunctions and all of these types of sentence connectors. Okay, just give me a second. Let me take a sip of water. So the organization here tells you how your text will be laid out. Okay. Does anybody have any questions so far? Niveen Mukhtar, she says, I have a problem with vocabulary. We will be adding a list. I'll give you a list of academic vocabulary. If you study it, try to use it in your sentences, your vocabulary will be posted. Does anybody have any question? Thank you so much. Thank you. Now, number 4 is the style or tone. When you know the audience, when you know the purpose, when you know how you organize, now you need to know what style or what tone. Is it formal or informal? Is it a friend or a boss? Is it a co-worker or someone you met for the first time in the street? And here we look at using formal words, avoiding contractions if you're working or if you're writing an academic piece. You can also use contractions or friendly language, slang, if you are writing an email or a note or a text message to your friend. Writing is everywhere. You see that you write posts or you send a message on Facebook or WhatsApp or Telegram every day. You do that. And when you write, you think, oh, who are those people receiving this message? Are they people like co-workers? Again, 1 second, let me admit those people here. Okay, so you think, who are those people? Are they from the same place, or they are like from the same level, if we can call it, or they are higher in position, or they are far away from me? Okay, because sometimes within the same school, you might know a group of people, they are your friends, or within the same company, those people are your friends. So when you talk to them, you usually use informal language. But for people who are far away or further from you, you try to use more formal or more, respectful language. Now, looking also at what should I consider when I write? Yes, there is a question here. Okay, Rasha, you have a question? If you have a question, go ahead. If not, please put the hand down. And Khalid, if you have a question, go ahead. If you don't have a question, please put your hand down.
Excuse me, doctor. Is not the tense. Tenses is not important for writing or important. You didn't mention it.
Okay, I'll tell you something very important about tenses. Thank you, Khalid.
Okay.
The problem of how we were educated is the language is 2 things. You study grammar, tenses, and you study vocabulary. But this is not the language. The language has lots and lots of stuff. So grammar is important for sure, but we don't want to put it like this size. 90% is grammar and 10% is vocabulary. Grammar will be 30%. If you know how to express present, past, future, you're good, you're perfect. Okay? You will need to know more about these tenses in order to write more varied sentence types. يعني هتستخدم بقى ال present perfect عشان تعبر بيه عن حاجة بدأت في الماضي ولسه مستمرة لحد دلوقتي، أو حاجة بدأت في الماضي وحصلت في الماضي بس أنت مش عارف حصلت إمتى. بس لو أنا قلت مكانها past simple, perfectly fine, that's fine. يعني بدل ما أقول مثلا I have done my homework، ممكن أقول I did my homework last night، والاتنين زي الفل، الاتنين صح. ماشي؟ فمش عايزين ندي الجرامر أكتر من حجمه. في حاجات أهم من الجرامر اللي هو الستراكشر. إزاي أكتب سنتنس صح؟ إزاي ألعب في الستراكشر بتاع السنتنس وأحرك السبجكت من مكانه؟ إزاي أعمل موديفيكيشن للسبجكت وللفيرب وللأوبجكت؟ إزاي أحط كلمة زيادة عشان أغير المعنى؟ ازاي انقل البروبوزيشن من مكانه عشان اغير المعنى، ازاي انقل الادفرب من مكانه عشان اغير المعنى. الحاجات دي اهم كتير جدا من ان انا اعرف present simple past simple. وفي فيديوهات كتير جدا عن التنسز ممكن نتفرج عليها على يوتيوب، بس احنا عايزين نركز دلوقتي في ان احنا عايزين نطلع بقى سنه اعلى من ان انا اركز في التنسز والفوكابلري. جميل. خامس حاجه لازم اعتبرها وانا بكتب اللي هو الفلو او الكوهيرنس. يعني it means، هنا انا عايز اقرا الديفينيشن ده، it means moving from one statement in a text to another. يعني ان انت تمشي من سنتنس لسنتنس ثانيه من غير ما تخلي الاودينس بتاعك يحس ان في حاجه غلط هنا. ازاي تحط السنتنسز بتاعتك ورا بعض في سيكونس معين in a flow، الريدر او الاودينس ما يحسش ان في مشكله. ده برضو جزء مهم جدا هنشتغل عليه. طبعا بيقول هنا it's obvious that by keeping the flow and making clear connections of ideas and concept you will help your audience. في طبعا typo هنا. you will help your audience to follow the text. يعني لو انا بقرا تكست وفي flow وفي coherence مش هحس ان في مشكله وابقى عايز اخرج من التكست دي وافكر في حاجه ثانيه. في ساعات الكتاب طبعا العرب مشهورين جدا بالموضوع ده، لما يكتب ستوري او يكتب قصه او يكتب حاجه ممكن تمسك الكتاب كله من اول صفحه لحد اخر صفحه وتحس ان انت يعني عايز تكمل. جميل. وفي ساعات حد كاتب حاجه تبدا تقرا ليه فتحس ان الموضوع ايه ده. فالفلو مهم جدا في التكست بتاعي. جميل. هنشوف المسجز هنا. thank you so much خالد. thank you. طيب النقطه اللي بعد كده بعد الفلو عندي language. يعني ايه language؟ يعني اقول is it a happy day or a good day or a great day. ايه الفرق ما بين الثلاثه؟ لو حد مسيحي اقول له ميري كريسماس ولا هابي كريسماس، وليه ميري مش هابي؟ هو ده how to select words which are precise to the point. في ساعات ممكن اقول جمله وتديني نفس المعنى بتاع جمله تانية بس بحس ان في جمله احسن من جمله، اعلى من جمله، يعني more precise من الجمله الثانيه. ازاي انا اشوف الكلام ده وازاي اعرف الحاجات دي؟ هنبص برضو عليها في الكورس، بس انا عايز اقول ان الثيسورس. يس جو اهيد.
اللانجوج دي بتساوي البلاغة في العربي؟
اللانجوج هنا مش معناها البلاغه، اللانجوج هنا ممكن تبقى بمعنى البلاغه، بس بلاغه العربي اللي هو ان انا اعبر عن المعنى الكبير في عدد قليل من الكلمات. مظبوط. في الانجليش ما عندناش الحته دي، ما فيش الخاصيه في الانجليش كده، لان الانجليش هو لغه اضعف من العربي. فكلمه واحده في العربي ممكن احتاج اترجمها باكتر من سنتنس، باكتر من ستراكشر. وفي حتى بعض الكلمات بيبقى صعب جدا ان الناس تعمل لها ترانزليشن، فبيبداوا يكتبوا اكسبلانيشن ليها. وانا بشتغل كجزء من الشغل الثاني مع الفيدرال جفرمنت هنا في كتابه منهج عربي للناس الكنديين الدبلومات اللي هم اللي بيسافروا بره يدرسوا. ففي حاجات بنسجلها مثلا بالعربي ومحتاجين نشرحها بالانجلش، فبتكتب باراجراف عشان تشرح كلمه واحده، خاصه الكلمات اللي ليها علاقه بالثقافه. يعني كلمه في مصر مثلا لما تقول لواحد قشطه، قشطه دي يعني كريم، بقى هناك في اللانجوج لو هو فهم قشطه يعني كريم الموضوع صعب جدا. لو هو قابل حد في الشارع وقال قشطه هتلاقي الموضوع صعب جدا. فعشان كده لو حد شاف كان في لقاء قريب لوزير الخارجيه الامريكي في مصر، وزير الخارجيه الامريكي، ايوه كان في مصر وكان بيتكلم بالعربي، هتلاقيه بيتكلم زينا بالظبط. هو طبعا اللغه متكسره عنده لان هو بيتكلم شبهنا جدا، لان هو درس اللانجوج كوتش. هنا اللانجوج اللي احنا بنتكلم عليها ازاي استخدم الكلمه الصح في المكان الصح. ايه الكلمه اللي المفروض تتحط هنا عشان تدي المعنى اللي انا عايزه. يعني اقول define ولا identify؟ define دي الترم ولا identify دي لايه؟ يعني انا عايز اعرف انهي واحده الاقوى. كويس. الكلمات نفسها في كلمه زي go travel commute، الثلاثه ممكن استخدمهم في جمله. I go to work by bus، I travel to work by bus، I commute to work by bus. انهي واحده فيهم؟
Please, Mr.
Go ahead,
Please.
Mr. Rida. Yeah, go ahead.
I always get confused, don't know which is which. What's the difference between coherence and cohesion. Both of them are tricky for me. I always don't know which is which. So if you please just clarify them.
تمام. لو احنا رجعنا كده تاني واتكلمنا عن الاورجانيزيشن، هي الكوهيجن. احط مين الاول؟ لو انا بتكلم عن كوز اند ايفكت، لو انا بتكلم في اسي مثلا بقول من اسباب التلوث عوادم السيارات ودخان المصانع، كويس؟ احط مين الاول واحط مين الثاني. طب لما انا احط الاسباب الاول عايز اوصل لنتائج، احط ايه؟ فانا بتكلم على السنتنس ليفل هنا، ماشي؟ يبقى انا بتكلم هنا بالكونكتورز اللي بيتحطوا ما بين السنتنس عشان اقول ان ده سبب او دي نتيجه او ده كان مترتب على ده، كويس؟ الكوهيرنس هو لما اقرا بقى من اول التكست لحد اخر التكست من غير ما اقف، من غير ما احس ان في باوز هنا، من غير الكاتب ما يخليني اقف وافكر في الكلام اللي فات. لو وقفت وفكرت في الكلام اللي فات يبقى في مشكله في الفلو. تمام؟ فاحنا هنا بنتكلم على التكست ليفل، مش الايه، مش السنتنس او الباراجراف ليفل.
اوكي، ثانك يو
مستر رضا.
من فضلك لو سمحت دكتور.
اتفضلي يا فندم.
يعني حضرتك تقصد بالكوهيجن ده according للسنتنس، لكن الكوهيرنس للاسي كله؟
الكوهيجن هو لو احنا اتكلمنا على كلمه كوهيرنس وكوهيجن، كوهيرنس معناها ترابط الحاجات مع بعض. ازاي احط حاجه جنب بلوك ثانيه واخلي البلوكس الاثنين دول ماسكين في بعض بكونجنكشن.
يا ماما احمد خلص.
يبقى ده according للتكست كله، للكونتكست كله، لكن الكوهيجن بتكلم على السنتنس الواحده، ولا صح كده ولا انا غلطان؟
طب انا هستأذن بس في حد كان unmuted يعمل ميوت وهشرح حالا الحته دي.
اوكي
تمام. خلينا اتكلم معاكم على باراجراف بحكي فيه عن fast food and why fast food is dangerous. كويس؟ لو انا حطيت اسباب why fast food is not is dangerous في paragraphs ورا بعض، ده السبب الاول، ده السبب الثاني، ده السبب الثالث، كويس؟ بعد كده النتيجه ما تاكلش فاست فود. يبقى التكست بتاعي ده فيه cohesion، يعني مرتبط ببعضه، كويس؟ لو انا بصيت على وانا بقرا بقى التكست كله من الاول للاخر مفيش اي حاجه فيها بلوك. يعني خلينا اقول الجمله دي بسرعه. لو انا اتكلمت على السبب الاول وقلت ان الفاست فود مشكلته ان هو بيسبب مشاكل صحيه، كويس؟ فانا كتبت في باراجراف وقلت المشاكل الصحيه منها كذا وكذا وكذا، وهو بيسبب ارتفاع ضغط الدم وي وي وي. اخر سطر في الباراجراف لازم يكون taking me to the next paragraph، كويس؟ فبقول this is not the only reason we should avoid fast food. فانا كده لزقت الموجود ده باللي بعده. فلما انا بتكلم عن البلوكس اللي مرتبطه ببعض بطريقه organized يبقى انا بتكلم عن الكوهيجن. لما انا بتكلم على الحاجات اللي بتلحم السنتنسز في بعض والباراجرافز في بعض يبقى دي اسمها كوهيرنس. تمام كده؟
تمام اوكي شكرا.
الثيثورس هو ديكشنري بيدينا معاني الكلمات. يعني في موقع مهم جدا ممكن نوقف ونبقى في الاخر السيشن نقف عليه، هو thesaurus.com. فانا اقول له مثلا كلمه happy او كلمه good، بحط كلمه good فبيطلع لي كل الكلمات اللي بمعنى good، عشان ما اقعدش اقول good this was a good day this was a happy day. لا، في كلمات ثانيه. فالثيثورس هو قاموس بيدي معنى.
Please Mr. just drop the link via the group please, the link of that
حاضر. انا هضطر بس استوب الشير لان انا شايف حاجات كتيره. ماشي.
yes
thesaurus.com. ماشي. طيب انا اقول لكم حاجه، نروح بسرعه على thesaurus، ماشي، ونبص عليه سريعا كده عشان ما يبقاش فيه لخبطه. جميل. طيب بسم الله، ده الموقع حضرتك شايفينه دلوقتي. طيب ستوب شيرنج تاني. لو حد شايف معلش يقول، لان انا مش عارف انتوا شايفين ايه.
كان موجود ايوه
تمام. فده اسمه thesaurus.com. لو بصينا كده فوق please mute yourself. اماني please. اوكي. so thesaurus.com هو موقع بنكتب عليه كلمات بيدينا كلمات بالمعاني التانية. يعني لو انا كتبت كلمة happy مثلا ودوست كده click search for happy، هيطلع لي كده مجموعة كلمات cheerful, contented, delighted. All of these words mean happy, glad, joyful. كويس. الكلمات اللي بالاورنج هي اقرب معنى لكلمة happy. الكلمات اللي باليلو هي ابعد شوية من كلمة happy. ماشي. فبقول واحد blessed غير happy اللي هي معناها glad or joyful. جميل. فده هيساعدني دايما لما اكون بكتب، بدل ما استخدم اعمل redundancy في الرايتنج، اكتب ترم اكتر من مره في التكست، لا انا ممكن اخش على الثيسورس واجيب معنى تاني وابدا استخدم عليه. هابي ليها معنيين. ماشي. المعنى الاول هو in high spirits او satisfied، حد كده مبسوط. والمعنى الثاني اللي هو lucky. ماشي. طيب لما نقصد معنى happy اللي هي معنى كلمه lucky، فممكن اقول he is fortunate او he is successful or he is apt. تمام. فدول معنيين. لو انت كتبت اي كلمه هنا او انت كتبت اي كلمه هنا،
عليك يا محمد. لا غلط.
ما مشيتش اهو.
انا والله مستني
could you
كله.
please mute yourself
مستني.
sir?
انا عرفت ان عربية
جت 8:30.
مش متر
لو سمحتوا ممكن نعمل ميوت.
ما عرفتش بقى امشي معاهم.
طيب تمام يا جماعه، في اي حد عنده اي اسئله دلوقتي تاني؟ ممتاز. نرجع للي كنا بنقوله. بالنسبه للثيسورس كمان، هو مش بيدي السينونيمز بس، يعني مش بيدي المعاني بس. لو نزلنا تحت سكرول داون هتلاقي بيدي الانتونيمز كمان، اللي هي المعاني العكسيه او المضادات. فلو قلت in a high spirit اللي هو happy، عكسها يبقى كلمه depressed, disappointed. ماشي. كل الكلمات دي sad، كل الكلمات دي موجوده برضو. ولو بصينا هنلاقي ان هنا الجراي دوت darker gray وهنا lighter gray. فالداركر جراي بيبقى المعاني الاقرب في التضاد لكلمه happy. فكلمه happy الضد بتاعها بالظبط كلمه depressed. ماشي. كلمه sad من المعاني طبعا ما فيش مشكله، انما اقرب معنى اللي بيدي المعنى المضاد جدا هو كلمه depressed. write down the website please. حاضر. الويب سايت اهو في الشات بوكس. ماشي. نبدا نرجع تاني للسيشن اللي احنا كنا بنقولها ونشوف presentation. Are you guys following? Hello.
Yes دكتور.
Okay, thank you so much. So الفلو خلصناه واللانجوج خلصناها. عشان نرجع بسرعه كده نفتكر هنا what should we consider. اول حاجه الاودينس. مين الاودينس بتوعي؟ لازم اركز كويس جدا مين الاودينس بتوعي. ماشي. نمبر 2 لازم اعرف البيربس اللي انا بكتب عشانه. organization، الترتيب بتاعي، هل انا ارتب ترتيب تاريخي، هل انا ارتب ترتيب عن طريق الاهميه. ستايل والتون، هي فورمال انفورمال، بتكلم مع مين، اللانجوج نفسها بتتغير. في فورمال وفي فيري فورمال وفي سيمي فورمال وفي فريندلي او انفورمال. فكل الحاجات دي هتبقى مهمه جدا بالنسبه لنا. خالد جو اهيد. خالد.
السلام عليكم يا دكتور.
عليكم
I write
السلام.
the
عليكم السلام.
انا احمد خليفه. في بس
استاذ احمد خليفه اتفضل يا فندم.
ايوه يا فندم، حضرتك بتقول اودينس، هو المفروض يبقى ريدرز ولا اودينس؟ يعني عشان اللي بيقراوا ولا انا هتكلم ولا هكتب يعني؟
تمام. هي الاودينس هو جنرال تيرم لاي حد بيتلقى. فالاودينس هنا القارئ. ممكن اقول على حد بيقرا اودينس برضه. يعني اودينس ممكن يكون بيتفرج على حاجه، ممكن يكون بيقرا حاجه. تمام. وطالما او بيسمعك، لو انت بتتكلم وهو بيسمعك فهو الاودينس بتاعك. فهو هنا الاودينس مش بقصد بيها الشخص اللي بيشوف حاجه. كلمه اودينس
يعني
تنفع
جنرال يعني.
تنفع كمان ان انا استخدمها للريدرز. ماشي.
تمام.
فلو حضرتك قرات مثلا ريفيوز لبوكس هتلاقي بيقول the writer مثلا addressed the points that the audience wanted to address in the previous edition. يعني هو تعامل مع النقط اللي كان فيها مشكله مع الاودينس في البريفيوس اديشنز اللي هي النسخ القديمه. فاودينس هنا معناها الناس اللي بتقرا برضه. تمام.
تمام يا فندم. شكرا
جزيلا. يبقى نرجع تاني بسرعه نفتكر الست حاجات: الاودينس، البيربس، اورجانيزيشن، ستايل، الفلو، واللانجوج. عايزين نعمل activity كده مع بعض. I would like you to identify the audience, purpose, tone of the following task. للactivity ده I'd like you to type audience, purpose, tone in the text, in the messages, okay? So let's see. If you're asked to write a story of your life in inverted chronological order, what should you, is it, who is the audience here? And what's the purpose? عشان البيربس معلش هرجع بسرعة أفكركم إن أنا عندي 5 أنواع للبيربس. 5 purposes or 5 types of purpose اللي هم to persuade, to inform, to entertain, to explain and describe. في أي text بكتبه بكون بكتب عشان persuade يعني أقنع الناس, inform them, entertain them, explain to them or describe anything for them. تمام؟ فأنا دلوقتي الكويستشن اللي عندي بيقول write a story of your life in inverted chronological order. يعني من ورا من الآخر للأول. مين الاودينس؟ ممكن يبقى الاودينس هنا، وايه هو البيربس، وايه هو التون اللي ممكن تستخدمه في الرايتنج ده. Please type in the chat box. طيب please try to write one thing at least, like for audience this person, for purpose this, or for tone this will be the tone.
Okay, can we have examples?
Okay, so let's do this example together. So if I'm asked to write a story about my life, okay, what is the audience? They can be different audience. I can write this story to publish, so the audience may be the public, right? I might write this story to my kids, so the audience will be my kids. If you look at the purpose, what's the purpose here? Are you teaching them something? Are you persuading them something, or you're entertaining them? People, طبعا general people ممكن تبقى family, friends, to describe something. Do you inform them? Yeah, Maisa, do you inform them or you entertain them? Audience is a new friend. This can be perfectly right. Khaled?
Hello?
Yes?
Yes, doctor.
Yeah.
I think an audience may be my friends, people around me, my family, anyone who can read what I'm writing. Yeah.
That's perfect. And if you're writing for a journal or to be published, فهيبقى the public is your audience, right?
هتبقى formal. Yes, it will be a formal writing. But if my friends or my family, it will be informal to some extent.
طيب أنا عايز بس نقف عند نقطة الفورمال والانفورمال. لو أنا بكتب ستوري، الستوري بتبقى دايما مش formal writing، بتبقى informal، لأن بيبقى فيها speeches، بيبقى فيها quotes، بيبقى فيها حد بيقول لحد hey do you know what happened yesterday؟ فهتحط الكلام ده في quotes، فده مش هيبقى formal. فهو هنا التون هيبقى informal، الاودينس هيبقوا البابليك، اي حد ممكن يقرأ الكلام ده، والpurpose is to persuade them, entertain them, inform them. For sure you're entertaining them. محدش بيروح يقرأ قصة عشان يتعلم منها حاجة زي اللي بيقرأها مثلا في non-fiction، زي في كتاب مثلا science or في كتاب history. تمام؟
Excuse me, but sometimes we describe things inside the story itself.
That's correct.
We sometimes describe a scene, describe a character in the story itself.
That's absolutely correct. But the whole purpose, like the story, is it a story or a descriptive essay?
No, it's a story.
That's a story. So the main reason when I go and read it, I'm reading it for entertainment. إنما لو أنا مثلا طلبت منك في مثلا جريمة معينة حصلت وطلبت منك تقعدي تكتبي لي descriptive essay of the day of the incident. What happened? Who was there? What did they do? What were they wearing? فده اسمه descriptive piece.
Descriptive writing.
جميل.
Okay,
ففي الديسكريبتيف هنا هيبقى formal writing. مش هقول اللانجوج نفسها هتبقى quotes، بس هي الجنرال writing هيبقى formal. تمام. عندي هنا الاودينس is a boss. Najla, we usually don't write stories to our boss, so this might be something we need to consider. Formal, if you're writing for entertainment, usually you are using informal writing. Entertainment, that's right, the purpose is to inform. Inform is taken from the word information, okay? So information, if you're giving people information, now you're informing them. If you're giving people a piece of writing or a story to entertain them, to make them engage with what you wrote, this is to entertain. Rasha raised your hand. Go ahead.
Okay. In my job, I should attend with my colleague and write reports. Okay. My audience here is my supervisor.
Perfect.
So I should write it formal.
Very formal. Yeah.
Very formal. So
yeah.
I should say my observations and my comments, my benefits, everything, but
That's
informal.
Right. In a formal way. Formal.
Yes.
Because this is
yes.
a report, right? A report,
yes.
you mention, usually when you write, I'm asked sometimes to write a report. When I write a report, I don't use I think. I mention the facts. So this happened, this happened, this happened. This is a formal way of reporting to my boss. So when the boss reads, they get the idea of what happened, right?
Yes.
But if you wanted to tell them a story, like, you know what, there is a problem between you and one of your coworkers or, someone you work with, you will be describing, right? So we'll say, when he or she entered the office, she started screaming at me and she said, quote, these words, right?
Yes.
I didn't like that. I didn't accept that. I said, please, you have to stop that. Watch your language. And you put this between. This is different from a report. You write of facts, things that happened to you, like things that needed to be listed. All right?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go to number 2 now. And you're writing about an author famous for their fairy tale retelling. So you're writing about an author. What's the audience here? The purpose, the tone. Who can be the audience for this text? You can type this in the chat again. The purpose is to inform. That's correct, Najla, that's correct. And who can be the audience for this one? Public audience, that's perfect, that's correct. The public can be the audience here. That's right, Ahmed, Khalifa, that's correct. Maisa, the public will be the audience. Okay, what kind of tone would you use here?
Formal.
No, as a storyteller, as I tell a story of the author, about the author, so it will be as I tell a story.
That's
maybe
right.
No, they are facts.
I have one thing here, and the question, it didn't say you're writing a story, right? So it can be a report, it can be an essay about the Najib Mahfouz or Ahmed Zuwail or someone who's famous. Usually we don't write a story if it is not a story. So here is general, so it can be a formal text, which is a report or an essay on that person. It can be a biography, Maisa. Autobiography, if I'm writing about myself, this can be a biography. And usually biographies is a mix between formal and informal language, right? That's right. Okay, let's move to number 3. Create a cookbook in which every recipe is tied to a specific person or moment in your life. Here, we can have 2 purposes. What do you think is the purpose here?
Can be informative.
Information about, yes, informative about some cook recipes.
That's good. You're informing people. You're telling people, do this, get these ingredients, do them this way. That's correct. Yes. Number 2, you can also entertain them because you're telling a part of your life story. This happened. This happened,
yes,
about That's perfect.
specific moments in my life, something like this. Yes.
Right. Hiba also wrote you can describe, because you're describing things that happen. You can describe also the way or the style or the, you know, the steps of cooking or making a specific meal. That's absolutely correct. You can explain it. Yeah, that's right. You can explain here because this is hard for me. Let me tell you this. I don't know how to cook. So what do you add first? Do you add the onions or the butter or the oil? Which one goes first? Which one? Is it the potato or the pasta? So yeah, you need to explain in a book. Absolutely. Cookbook is a perfect example of explaining. Could you please, guys, mute yourself? Now, I'd like you to look at this. If you're writing an email to your boss and asking him for a promotion, tell him or her why you should be promoted. Who is the audience? What's the purpose, and what's the tone? This is an easy one, right? Go ahead and type this in the chat. That's correct, Maisa. You're persuading. You tell them, give me money or I will leave. That's correct. The boss is the audience. That's correct. So what about the tone?
Will be in a formal way.
Formal.
Of course.
This is formal.
Yes.
Especially because you're asking for money. You don't say, hey, you know, I need this money or I leave the job. No, you tell them, based on my experience, based on what I've done, I expect to be promoted and I expect this raise in my salary. That's correct. So formal, the audience here is the boss and you writing to persuade, right? Eating too much cake and not exercising will give us health problems. Audience, purpose, and tone here.
Public. Your friend.
You can be a topic for your friend, right? Or public, right? Can you write this to your kids? Can you write them something like that to your kids too? Can you please mute yourself, guys? Such a beautiful song, but we need to mute that. Thank you. Okay, so instruct, you can instruct people, explain, okay? And this is inform. The tone is formal. Yeah, you can use a formal tone because you're informing people about something that is important or that is dangerous for them. Absolutely, that's right. Now, let's go to number 3. Sorry. Every house should have a dog. They are cute, loyal, and will protect your house. Who's the audience? Public can be the public.
Yes, will be informal because I give some advice. As you should have a dog, they are cute, and I give you the advantage of having a dog, I think.
Actually, that tone can be a mix of between formal and informal. But if you look at the audience, it takes you to the purpose. What's the purpose here?
Protection.
Advice is to persuade, right? So we have inform, persuade. Okay, we have inform, we have persuade, we have describe, we have entertain, informal, public or friend, okay, doctors to patient, to persuade, that's right, Rihan. Okay, that's absolutely right. You're doing great job. Now, let's move to another one. She threw paper airplane. It looped through the trees under the dog's belly, up into the sky, and landed in the hot air balloon. Who's the audience? And what's the purpose?
Public, I think.
The public can be the audience, or those can be university students, or they can be students in a class, right? Children, that's right, Badria. That's correct.
Instructions.
Okay, this is what kind of writing is this? What's the genre here? Can anybody tell me?
Entertainment. Yes, this is like story or something like boom.
This is a poetry, right? Or this is a kind of prose, right? So it can be, yeah, the readers, it can be a story, it can be the here for its persuasion. You're persuading? No, I don't think so. This is entertaining.
Description.
Right. It can this is a kind of let me tell you something very important between the difference between when you describe something and when you
explanation.
When you just 1 second. When you describe something and when you entertain people. So if you look at this sentence, she threw the paper airplane It looped through the trees, under the dog's belly, up into the sky, and landed in the hot air balloon. For sure, this language is a kind of poetic language. So it's more decorative, right? If you look at this sentence, it's a very long sentence, and we don't usually do that when you write formally. So in this case, this will be a kind of entertaining, okay? But if you write, it looped through the trees, full stop, then this paper plane or airplane went under the dog's belly. After that, it went up into the sky and landed into the hot air balloon. In this case, you are describing, but for this one, you are entertaining more than you're describing, okay? Exactly. You're using more adjectives. That's one thing, to use adjectives to describe. The second thing is when you change the structure of the sentences, putting sentences together, making longer sentences. In this case, you are more entertaining. Okay, so there is a very important poem I used to remember, and they used to teach in middle school. Russia, you can go ahead. Just give me a second. Let me tell you this poem. It says, "I am busy, said the sea. I am busy, think of me. Making continents to be. I am busy, said the sea." Look at this stanza here. Is it to describe what does
I didn't understand what does it mean. I didn't understand what the things does it mean.
Okay, let me repeat it. So the stanza here said, "I am busy, said the sea." The sea is talking. He said, "I am busy," said the sea. "I am busy, think of me. Making continents to be. I am busy, said the sea." So here, does this describe what the sea does, or it's a kind of entertainment? Ahmed Khalifa, let me disagree with you. This is an entertainment because, yeah, it describes what the sea acts when creating, continents and changing how
rhyme and musical.
Perfect, because we have rhyme, we have music, we have words that are alterated together. This makes it more entertaining. We have some hands here. So Najla, you have a question?
I would like to say about the descriptive language. We can descriptive language. We can use sensory language related to 5 senses when we smell, touch, like that.
That's
taste,
perfectly
for
correct.
example.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
I agree with you. Right, but here we're looking at the purpose of the writing, not the type of writing. So I can use sensory language to entertain you, right? To tell you a story.
Exactly.
In a gloomy night, there was lots and lots. Yeah, this is descriptive, and this is an entertainment. And also I can use it to describe a scene that happened, like a crime scene. Okay, the suspect entered, he broke into this small room, and he shot this person in front of him. So this is a descriptive sentence. This suspect was wearing black, all in black. He was tall. He has black hair. So this is descriptive, but still I'm using it in a different purpose to inform people about something, right? Now, yeah, let's go to the next one here. In a campaign speech, which is like somebody running for elections to be a president, maybe. So the author's purpose is to what? Barack Obama, when he's talking to people, what's the purpose?
Is to persuade.
Persuade.
Perfectly correct. That's correct. So to persuade. And the tone here is what? Is it formal?
Informal.
Informal.
Perfect.
No
because
formal.
it's a speech. This is deceiving. It's a speech. So I'm talking to you. So when I talk to you in a campaign, like I'm meeting with you in formal language. So I say, dear, citizens, or dear neighbors, right? If you look at Biden's, last campaign, he was talking to them as, I am the president of all Americans. You're my brothers and sisters. So he's using informal language, friendly language, right? Now going to in directions. If I'm giving you directions to go somewhere, what's the purpose here?
Explanation.
Description.
You're explaining, right? You're
Give
explaining.
instructions. Yes, give instructions.
Yeah, you're giving instructions, so you are explaining something, right?
Yes, yes.
Perfect. Describing, when if you think of a describe, think always of a crime scene of something you see from your window. And this is an activity I'd like you to do. Look out of your window or your balcony and describe everything you see. I see my neighbors, they are sitting in the balcony, they're drinking coffee. Someone was walking in the street, is carrying a basket and it's full of bread. So I'm describing here, okay? When I tell you directions, I want you to go to Cairo Tower. So you take the bus, you get off here, walk straight forward, turn left, turn right. I'm informing you, right?
So explanation is to illustrate or show or demonstrate something which is somehow big.
That's explained, right? You're explaining, absolutely.
Yes. Yes. So to describe is to give details.
Is to explain.
To give the descriptive details, but explain is detailing and explaining, or sorry, and facilitating.
Could you please repeat that, Abdul Hamid?
Facilitating, explaining and explain means describing and facilitating something which is somehow difficult for the reader or the speaker or the listener.
Could you please repeat the two examples again?
Explaining, giving details, giving details, and facilitating.
That's right.
Demonstrating.
That's correct.
Okay, but describing is to just give the facts and details in a very detailed way.
In a very descriptive
shows
way.
every single. Yes.
This is the word, right?
Yes.
In a very descriptive way.
In a descriptive way. I explain descriptive. So I can't explain descriptive with descriptive. Okay. Thank you so much, Doctor.
Thank you so much, Abdul Hamid. Thank you. I just asked you to repeat it because I was thinking of something else. It's my bad. All right.
Okay.
So in directions, we mentioned that already. Let's go to the last one, the very last here. In a non-fiction book, the author purpose is to do what? Non-fiction book is like science book, history book, geography book, math book. What's
to inform?
Perfect.
Informative book, and will be formal book.
Formal, usually.
Because I give science information. That's right.
Absolutely, that's right. So you're informing people and you're giving them
scientific
terms,
facts.
So
you're informing that. Absolutely.
Yes.
That's right. I will just go through the last two slides because we don't have enough time to cover all of them today. And okay. Now, we will look at stages of writing next time. And I'll tell you what's a writer's block. This is something that happens usually to writers. You have the pen and the paper, you have the ideas in your mind, but you can't transfer the ideas into the paper. And this is called writer's block. And it happens. There is no problem with that. Could you please mute yourselves, guys? So in this case, could you please mute yourself? Hello. Hello. Can you guys mute yourself? Okay, got that. Now, the writer's block again is a condition that when a skilled writer, you know how to write, but something happens to you. You have the desire to write, but you can't, transfer words or sentences into the paper. You can go ahead, Amani, ask the question. It's time for questions now. So guys, if you have any question, you can type it or you can raise your hand, then you can take the turn and talk. Go ahead.
Okay.
Amani, right?
السؤال بس كنت عاوزة أسأل حضرتك لو السيشن هتكون يعني ريكوردد وهتنزل بعد كده يعني ولا لا.
session recorded.
الحقيقة إني بس القصة في الميعاد إن أنا وهتنزل
هتنزل ان شاء
يعني
الله
هتبقى متاحة لينا بعد كده.
باذن الله، وهنتكلم مع بعض على
بس
الميعاد
هو
في
الحقيقة إن أنا
التليجرام،
حريصة جدا. أنا
عشان انا عارف ان الميعاد مش مناسب لكل
أنا
الناس،
حريصة
فهنختار
جدا إن أنا
معانا ان شاء
أسمح
الله.
يعني لايف. بالظبط. هيتغير.
باذن الله هنغير باذن الله الميعاد بحيث يكون مناسب لكل
تمام،
الناس،
شكرا.
وهنتكلم في ده على التليجرام ان شاء الله.
أوكي.
العفو يا فندم.
شكرا لحضرتك. شكرا.
عفوا. بدرية go ahead.
Okay, I want to thank you very much. I really benefit with this session so much.
Thank you so much.
My question is not for you. My question is for Mr. Rida, as he is the organizer.
Yes.
This is on Friday. There are 3 sessions. Mr. Muhammad Sadoun and Mr. Sameh, and there is a webinar every 15 days. So this is a busy day. How can we solve this problem, please?
You mean you're mixed up, Miss Fatwa, between lots of sessions? Yeah, I got you now. Sometimes
I am Miss Badriya, not Fatma.
Yes,
I am
Miss
Badriya,
okay.
not Fatma. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
We're trying our hardest to make the timing suitable for all, but I'm crossing my heart. I'm trying, wallahi, but you know, sometimes يعني you don't have the ability to match all attendees' requirements. So we're trying our hardest to do so, inshallah.
Thank you for your effort.
Yes,
we appreciate
and you also have the recording of you're not going to attend live, you're going to have the recorded that's going to help, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Yes.
So we have a question.
Thank you, Mr. Muhammad.
Thank you, Ms. Badriya. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Manat. We see people just joining us now. So I just wanted to say something. Once we agree on the time, I'd like everybody to be before this, like 5 minutes before the session, because when we admit new people to the class, you know, it breaks the line of thought. So it will be helpful for both of you. You don't miss anything, and for the instructor, just to be on the same page and, you know, don't interrupt the class as much as we can. Right? Any other questions?
Okay, Mr. Muhammad. Okay, no, thank you.
Okay, so before we go, I just want you to type in the chat or in your paper one takeaway that you learned today, one thing that you really benefited from, or a suggestion for next time, or a concern. Type it in the chat. I'll make sure that I read every single sentence, every single piece, and we will consider this, inshallah, in the coming classes. And I really appreciate your attendance today. Thank you so much. And I really thank you, Mr. Reda, for giving the chance to teach this class or start this course together. And please communicate my thanking to the meeting or the group of Global English Academy. And on your behalf, I'll thank Winnipeg Language Academy for that. Thank you so much.
Excuse me, Dr. Muhammad, before you leave.
Yes, go ahead.
I see that the lecture today was so great and wonderful, but I think it was somehow academic. Most of the colleagues here, I suggest being specific, direct, and practical. The academic definitions and so on. I hope you understand me.
I totally agree with you, but this is the first time we're just, you know, getting to know each other, and then we will be
sorry for this notice, but I just wanted to draw your attention to something I like to. I don't want to go on with talking and explaining about this, not to be misunderstood. So
I don't
think
like I don't
what's the
like
point?
lecturing.
That's okay.
I agree with you, Abdul Hamid. I don't like lecturing, and this class was really tough. So next time I'll be only monitoring, and you will be doing the practical, most of the work, like 90% of the work. This will be your part. But for this time, I was just wanted to tell you exactly what we will be looking at, how we think and how thinking affects our way of writing and what we should consider when we write. So starting from next time, I'll tell you, okay, so what's the purpose here? Then you tell me my purpose is to do this. Okay, so I don't want
By
to
the way,
go back
by
and
the way, I
forth
like
between these.
the examples and the exercises the colleagues did. Most of the attendees were engaged, and everything was going okay for you. But I think about I talk about the purpose itself of get practical, not for me or you or even the colleagues, but I think we will be better trained if we went to practical. We are waiting to we're waiting for you, inshallah, next time with the practical practice, inshallah.
I promise you, Abdul Hamid, next time you will have lots and lots of practice, and you will
Thank you
tell
so
me,
much.
yo, stop. This is enough practical. Okay? So
Yay.
just wait for next time. Thank you so
Waiting
much.
for you, inshallah.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Muhammad.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yes. Yes.
Khalid,
Muhammad.
do you have a question?
I just wanna.
Yes.
Okay, so let's take
I
Khalid
just,
and then
I just, please.
Excuse me, doctor.
Go ahead, sir.
I didn't get you on when you say that you have to select the right words about Merry Christmas, or when you use Merry Christmas or Happy Christmas. Do you mean the most common or the most words or not? I didn't get you.
So there is nothing called Happy Christmas. If you say to a Canadian person or American person or a native person, Happy Christmas, they usually say, yeah. But if you tell them Merry Christmas, because these are the words that collocate. Like when you tell people, make your homework. Make your homework is wrong because do collocates with homework. So we will be looking at words that collocate together, inshallah, in the next classes. So this is what I meant by when you say Merry Christmas or Happy. Happy and Merry are the same, like very similar meanings, right? But when we use it, we don't say Happy Christmas. We say Merry Christmas, right?
So the most uses, okay?
The correct use, the accurate
Correct.
use. Yeah.
Okay.
We don't say Happy Christmas. We say Merry Christmas.
Okay. Thank
Doctor,
you so
you
much.
mean that accordingly collocation, or because this is related to religion?
No, it's the collocate. If for example you want to say,
I know examples as do homework, not
yeah,
work homework.
exactly.
Okay. Also, Merry Christmas according to collocate.
Yeah, what collocates with each other. Yeah, that's
Okay.
correct. Yeah.
Foreigners can't understand what Happy Christmas means.
They will
They don't
understand
say that.
you. They will understand. If you say anything, they will understand you. And this is something we will be looking at next time. There is a difference between understanding and being more effective. So if I say I travel to work by car, correct. Everybody will understand it. I go to work by car, everybody will understand it. I commute to work by car. This will be a higher level, maybe. So we're looking at what's more effective.
It sounds different from what they are saying.
Yeah, go ahead.
It sounds different from what they are saying, يعني.
Which one?
اللي هي Happy Christmas. They don't say that. They say
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
That's why it will be weird. It will be strange. They will look down
Yes,
at you
that
and
is
say,
the word I'm looking for. Weird.
yeah, what's Happy Christmas? Yeah. And I
Yes,
actually
yes,
have
Madam
this
Rahim.
interesting. Go ahead.
Again, I
Yeah.
pop up.
Sorry, pardon me, guys, for a minute, please, guys.
Okay, go ahead, Mr. Rim.
Yes, assalamu alaikum, Mr. Muhammad. I can raise you a big thank you in the name of the attendees here and the group in general.
Thank you so
But
much.
concerning the point mentioned when dealing with the writing tone, we classified them into 2 points, whether be informal or informal. Are there, types in between?
Yeah, you can use semi-formal language, and this is
Yeah.
if you know. Okay, let me tell you about the context I work in. I work in Canada, and my boss is my friend. So when I write an email, I don't say, "Dear Mr. So-and-so." I say, "Good morning. Hey, how is it going today?" So it depends on the relation, proximity, and this is something we'll be looking at. How close you are to the person. Maybe he's your boss, but you are friends. So you say, "Good morning. Could you please send me this right away?" Maybe he's your boss, but you're like far away from each other, right? You're not close enough. So you say, "Good morning, Mr. So-and-so. I'm writing in order to ask you for this and that." So it depends on how close you are to the person. So tone and style is very linked to the audience.
Yes, so what's the difference between the tone and mood, Mr. Muhammad?
We will
It
be
may be tricky
discussing
for me.
this a lot of, there are different, a lot of stuff that we will be
Yes.
discussing, but we went over time for this class, and I
Yes,
really
yes, okay.
thank you so much for that. We're
Thank you, bro,
getting
for your
closer to
participation.
2 hours, right? Thank you so much.
I want already.
I
Yes,
just
yes.
wanna
Okay,
ask-
yes, I get you. Thank you. Yes,
Thank you,
yes.
thank you, Mr. Reza.
Thank
Thank you
bro.
so much.
Thank you.
Mr. Muhammad,
Yeah, Mr. Mani, go ahead.
I have a simple question. I just want to ask you whether there is a task for us to do for the next session.
I'll post this on the Telegram group, so please join it. And the link is posted on Facebook, and
Okay.
Mr. Reda has the link too. Yeah. All right. So
Assalamu alaikum, Mr. Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum.
thank you so much. Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And see you next time.
Thank you, really, bro.
Have a great day.
Yes.